Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name's Chris Neal, I'm Assistant Head of Facilities at Nottingham University Hospitals and Lead Caterer. I'm joined today by Chris Cargill, who's our Patient Rep Lead at NUH, and Nicola Strova, who's our Dietetic Chief Technician at NUH. We're going to talk about our memory menu today at NUH and about the power of 4 at Nottingham University Hospitals, the memory menu, and then we've got the end PJ paralysis, which links all of this together, which is an initiative that perhaps some of you are aware of.
Okay. To excuse me sucking a mint, I'm currently on chemotherapy and struggling with sickness today, so I'm going to do a bit and then pass over to the team. Feeling a bit hot as well, so it's not helping. So the context behind it, nutrition and hydration, we all need it, we all do it. When you're in hospital and you're unwell, you need it even more. So providing patients with the food, with the correct nutrients that they all enjoy and they'll eat is really, really crucial to aid their illness, to aid recovery with surgery. Little did I know when we started this project that I would then become the patient, so far into it, but hey. So at NUH we have our own food that we cook on site, so every day we serve 1,800 meals to patients on the wards. The food is cooked fresh using local ingredients, which is really, really beneficial. Patients in hospital, when you're eating food, is a social thing, so we'll all go out and have lunch, we'll all be chatting and eating. In hospital, eating by your bed, it's all right every now and again on a Sunday morning, breakfast in bed, but every day, day in, day out, it's not great for you. So mentally as well, and the physical, nutritional that we're getting from the food is really beneficial. So at NUH, we decided to do things a little bit different. So over the years, myself and Chris and the rest of the team have always just designed the patient's hospital food menu for the patients. Yet we're not the patients, so we're not eating it. I can look at the nutritional information and make it really nutritious, but are the patients going to eat it? If you don't like it, no. So it's a waste of time. So we decided to go out to the public and make the patients design their menu for us, working with us. And at NUH we have a really good vision for the patients being part of the team and working with us, being the forefront of our decision making. And that was a really key driver for the memory menu. Pass on to Chris. Okay.
So we needed to look at the opportunities. So the opportunities were a strong patient-public involvement system within the trust. We'd currently got an excellent working relationship with the PPG, who were already actively involved in our menu developments. They attend our monthly food tasting sessions. They would support us with any complaints that we've got within the NUH, and we'd actually produce the food, we'd re-eat it in a separate group, and then we'd look at see, is there any issue with that meal? Do we need to redevelop it, or is it a service issue? Is it a fault with the ovens that it's been re-eated in? So we've got a very strong relationship already with the group. So challenges that we face firstly is food is medicine. So we need to be aware that food is medicine. To provide a menu with popular nostalgic meals that encourage all patients to talk in and help recovery. And one of the key drivers of this was helping patients with dementia to eat well. So I was looking at, what were your childhood favourite dishes, and we found an whole raft of suggestions coming in, some that weren't quite suitable, but some that actually made the menu. So it was very interesting replies that came back. So over to Trish. Yeah.
So this was actually led by patients. So it's led by a patient partnership group, and we discussed how we would actually get that feedback into the staff. So we decided to do it in a totally different way this time. So we went out and we put it in our local Evening Post, and we wanted to know, what's your favourite food? What would you like? Where would you like? So one of the things, of course, that does come back is the puddings. That was one of the biggest things: sticky toffee pudding, chocolate cake, chocolate brownies, all of that sort of stuff. So we went out to social media. We used Twitter. We did surveys. We went onto the radio. We did engagement in local events. So we stood at our Robin Hood event and our Pride event. We actually engaged as well with different sorts of communities. So we used our BAME Council, our Shared Governance Council, And they went out to their local communities and they got over 364 different menus that they brought into the organisation. How we got it down to a small amount, I really don't know. But the one big thing about this, it actually lit up the community. Everybody was talking about food, what they wanted, how was it going. And when they actually looked at the menus, they could see some of the things that they suggested. So when we went back out, they were saying, I suggested that food on that menu, and it just lit the whole place. And recently, this month, we're going back out. So we've done it once, but we're going back out to see now what people want and how we can still take it forward. So what have the impacts and the results been? It's raised the profile of how important different types of engagement are for patients and public to get involved with the local community. It also gave us some fun, because we did have some fun at finding out what was out there and what people wanted. There were some of the most obscure bits, like one does come to mind of having cucumber in vinegar. Ugh. But it's, oh yes, somebody likes cucumber in vinegar. Yes. All right. And one of the things that we did do is when we went out for this, we also got feedback about lots of other things. So it helped with our overall feedback. The menus were designed by patients. 50% of the dishes we actually already had on our current menus. We had recipes developed with patients. We did, as Chris said, the food tasting, so we tasted the food. 60% of the ingredients is locally sourced, so we source it from our local farms, etc., which is absolutely brilliant. The new menus were launched and included in the nutrition strategy, and we started to get more positive feedback about our food from our place audits, from our friends and families, from speaking to patients on the wards. One big thing about developing the Memory logo, we've used "It's grown in Nottingham" words underneath, which actually has given a sense of pride and meaning to everybody. And it's helped the communication with the ward teams and the catering. And Chris was saying about dementia, one of the big things that came back from carers and the dementia patients was finger foods. They wanted something to put in their fingers. They don't want the foods, they want finger foods. So there is an actual finger food menu, which has gone down an absolute storm. So there's so many positives around this, and Chris will give you a couple of examples.
Yeah, so we went out to be patients once we'd launched the menu, and obviously we wanted to benchmark it and get some feedback of what the patients thought of the menu. And some of them, as Trish alluded to, were some of the items on the menu, such as chocolate sponge pudding, remind me of when I was at school as a young girl. It was one of my favourite meals. You know, basics like one of my favourite meals is jacket potato and cheese. I order it every time I'm out, and it's great to see it on the menu. So they're the things that the patients wanted on the menu, so it's what we incorporated into the menu. So further developments, we continue with our monthly food tasting sessions. They're just on their own now. They're great. You know, it's called Chris's Bakers Club, and lots of different names. And but that's great involvement with the patient partnership group. Development of a new children's menu, which we've just done, and we're launching this month, which we call the Robin's menu. So this is a menu, again, where we've been out to the carers for the children within our services and asked them what they want to see on their menu. And this is to supplement the main menu. This is not their only menu. They'll still get access to the NUH Memory Menu, but it's supplementary. So it's a flexible menu, allows them to be able to eat out of hours and when needed. We try not to make it a 24-hour service, but if someone's just been admitted or come from theatres and wants something, it's ready, available at ward level. We're currently launching back out to the public, as Trish mentioned. And I mean, finally, the NUH Memory Menu initiative can be used and adapted easily in other areas and trusts. It's for basics. We're going to the people that use our services. What do you want when you're in our hospital? It's your service. Let us know what you want and we'll provide it. Okay, and then finally, over to Nicola.
So you may not be aware of the saying, but there's a phrase that we use in the hospital caterers world called the power of three. And it's all about the dietetics, the catering and the nursing clinical teams working together for patients' nutrition and hydration. And as we found, as we embarked on this journey, if you like, we didn't know if people would be interested in putting suggestions forward. But after a few months on, I think it was in 2 or 3 months of being on social media, we had over 1 million impressions for the memory menu. So yeah, we got a bit worried at that point what we'd set out for, but it just shows that when the patients and the public can have a say in something, they really do grasp it and really go for it. And because of that, we decided to challenge the Hospital Caterers Association Power of 3 campaign and turn it into the Power of 4, and involving what we call the VIP, the very important patient, at the heart of that decision making. So that's the Power of 4, the NUH Memory Menu.
Thank you.